Hey everybody, we are Mike Mandel, Hypnosis, Chris Thompson,
Mike Mandel,
and in this video we're talking about the client interview and why words matter so much. So when doing a client interview, we need to take note of the exact words that clients say. Now, not all words, obviously, but
of course not. We're writing forever.
The problem words and the solution words are really the ones that we need to be noting down, jotting down, and using in our hypnotic work with the client. So why does this matter?
Well, think about it. When we use words, these will be words that are very specific to us. And when we make the mistake of interpreting what the person says, we have now veered off from what their actual meaning is. Whether they're describing their problem or if they're describing the solution to the problem, their words will be the words that will resonate with them.
So if I say that sounds confusing to me, Mike, you wouldn't say, oh, you're uncertain. No, right. I'm confused. I'm going to write down, if I'm the hypnotist, I'm going to write down the word confused because that's something I want to project back into the conversation later when we're doing hypnosis.
So relate to it. If someone says to me, oh, I've just been feeling a little down and low energy lately. And I say, and how long have you had this depression? And they say, I don't have depression. But if I say, how long have you felt down and sort of low energy like this? By using their exact words, it's going to resonate with them.
Right. So let's talk about the kinds of words people might use here. So they may, in an interview situation, offer you a metaphor that kind of stands for the problem, or maybe they'll describe the problem directly, right? So let's talk about those two things.
Right. So if somebody says, oh, I just feel locked up in life. I feel like someone's locked me in a root cellar and I can't get out. You don't want to come back and say, oh, the metaphor. Yeah, he's locked. How long have you felt like you're in Alcatraz prison? No, you must say to them that thing. So this root cellar, like what kind of root cellar is that? Tell me more about how that feels. Using their metaphor back to them. You said the crazy one.
Yeah, you've got people who might say, oh, my life is feeling crazy. It feels like I'm on some crazy merry-go-round and I just go round and round and never get anywhere. It never stops, right? So that's a simple metaphor.
Right, and then you can say, so what needs to happen to this crazy merry-go-round you feel like you're on? You work with their metaphor. Don't attempt to change it to one that you think is better because it won't resonate with them.
Elicit the problem with their words and then elicit what the solution would be and jot down again their words because that's what you're going to be using in the hypnosis session. Let's talk about another simple metaphor, something like, I feel burnt out.
You feel burnt out. So where do you feel burnt out? Is it in your body? Where do you feel burnt out in your life? You're using the words again, and the person will begin to unpack this. And they might say something like, well, I'm great when I'm at work all day. And then when I come home in the evening, my energy shuts off completely. And I've got a bad relationship with my wife because
There's another metaphor,
no, you
shuts
just
off.
Unpacked something. Yes. Because you use their words back. If you thought it just meant, oh, maybe you've been training for a marathon too much and that's burned you out. They'll be looking at you like, are you insane?
That's right. Words mean things to the person speaking. And of course, they mean something different, possibly to the listener. But your job as a hypnotherapist or a hypnotist is to not assume what it means, but reflect their words back. So let's talk about the other kinds of things that can happen. Instead of a metaphor, instead of metaphors, we can just get words that in their mind directly explain their problem. And we call these nominalizations.
Well, they're called nominalizations. That's why we call
them that too.
A nominalization is a stuck state. It's taken something that is moving and turned it into a stuck state. And when the person offers one of these, whether it's good or bad,
it can be a stuck state, yeah.
Well, it's always something that is a process that's stopped.
Right.
So if the person says success, you say, how are you being successful?
That's right.
So
it's a snapshot in time, in a sense.
Nice. Yeah. And Chris, how long have you had this movie picture? Scary thing I'm getting it wrong right away.
If you're a finance person, you go, it's a balance sheet, not an income statement. It's a snapshot in time of what's going on.
So when they use nominalization, this is a noun you cannot put in a wheelbarrow. Things like empowerment, sadness, grief,
overwhelm,
energized, energy, whatever. So you want to offer their nominalization back. If they say, I feel disempowered, or as Chris said, overwhelmed, that's what you offer back to them. And what needs to happen to this overwhelmed sensation you're feeling? Use their words. It's the key to unlock their metaphor, their problem, their nominalization.
Now, we're not going to explain to you how to use these words in the hypnotic intervention, etc. But it is so important. This really is about the interview process and getting the words down so that you can work it into the session. Now, let's shift gears and talk about, we've already talked about how to elicit the metaphors or the direct words that represent the problems.
And offer them
we
back.
Also need to elicit the same thing for the solutions.
Okay.
So in the metaphor, what needs to happen?
Yes, because when we're asking the person, what do you want or what would you like to have happen? Listen to their words for the solution. So again, you're going to offer back their words. This isn't active listening, which I hate, where the person says, if I'm hearing you right, you're saying, and you say something totally different. No,
it's
if
like
I'm hearing you right,
opposite.
I'm using your words. So I'll give you an example. In the 1990s, when I was a therapist, one woman came in, she was very fit. She was in her mid to late 40s and she was working out a lot and she wanted more confidence. And I said, what is the point of your confidence? What do you want this for? And she said, I'm going on vacation to the French Riviera. And she said, I want to walk along that beach in a thong bikini and have all these guys just drool over me. Okay, so there's the words. I don't say, you know, when you go to Europe, you're going to feel more confident. If you're out on your vacation. No, I'm going to say to her, when you're in the Riviera walking along that beach in that black thong bikini, you're going to have these guys drooling over you. I'm going to give her the exact words
That's
back.
Right. You're not going to say, oh, you're going to feel very attractive. Men are going to be interested in you. Yes. No, those are not her words. So we're going to remember use exactly the words that, not in exact order or anything like that.
No, they don't have to be in order at all. I remember, even though, well, I've used other words and they worked fine. Yes, sure, other words will work. But these words are like the key that is directly linked to their problem. So use their words and it's directly linked to their solution as well.
That's right. These words match their internal representation of the problem
and
or
the solution.
So let's give you a little bit of a silly example here. If I was at a restaurant and I wanted to order a hamburger off the menu, I would say, you know, I want the double burger. Now, the waitress doesn't go to the kitchen and say, can you make that guy some kind of meat sandwich? No, she says he'll have the special number 2 or whatever it is on the menu, the number 13 or something like that.
Then the kitchen knows exactly what you want because you're using the proper wording. I said the opposite of active listening, where you're going to reword it. Now, where do we use these words? Write them down during the interview when they're telling you what they want, when they're telling you what the problem is. Make notes, put their exact words down and play them back in or out of order. That part doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're playing it back. Either you're using metaphors, you could be using guided imagery, you could be doing direct suggestion, you could be moving into a mindscaping session.
Yes,
There's all kinds of things. Timeline, anything you want from the hypnotherapy, hypnosis toolbox, you'll be using this, but just make sure that you're using their actual words. So with that said, if you want to know more about how to do this stuff and be an awesome, strong, confident hypnotist without ever reading a script at a client, go to the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy. You'll see a link for a free trial on in the description below this video. Ring the bell once you're there. Whoa, that's hilarious, like an electric shock or something. Ring the bell after you subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next video. I am I'm not Mike Mandel. I'm Chris Thompson. You're Mike Mandel.
I'm Mike
and
Mandel.
We are
See, I offered his words back.
Mike Mandel Hypnosis.
Thanks again.
And good night.